Hey guys, what's up? My name is Carter Friend, and today I'm going to be talking about a key figure in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we've only seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for about 2 seconds. I'm speaking, of course, of the Mad Titan himself, Thanos, or as many of my non-comic book fan friends mistook him for when seeing the Avengers, I kid you not, Red Skull, Hellboy, Red Hulk. I mean, he's not even red. But we'll have to forgive those mistakes because, well, we really haven't gotten to know anything about this character in the MCU yet, so why would anyone but us comic book fans know who that is? But clearly, Marvel has some big plans for him, otherwise they wouldn't have stuck him in the end of their giant Avengers movie. There's been a lot of conversation about, well, what is that plan? And a lot of people assumed that it would culminate in the Avengers 2, but those plans were kind of quashed when it was announced that that sequel would feature Ultron as the main villain. And so now we are left to wonder, okay, what role does Thanos have to play in the future of the MCU? So that's what I am going to talk about today. Here's what we know. Thanos is the one who supplied Loki with his army in the Avengers. We also know that Thanos will be featured in the Guardians of the Galaxy much more prominently than the Avengers. Yet he still won't serve as the main villain of that movie, so basically he is going to be kind of a background figure for a little while longer. He's a puppet master of sorts. He's pulling strings, clearly setting himself up to do some real damage in the future. And so, quite frankly, I'm happy that this is going to kind of be a slow burn and that we're not just immediately going to get him in Avengers 2, because with the character as big and ruthless as Thanos, that's kind of what you need. You need to have him moving pieces in place and so he can really come on with full force and really cause some real trouble for these heroes. So let's talk about how that's going to happen. My theory is the following. We know very little about the Guardians of the Galaxy plot. One of the things we do know, however, is that the Guardians of the Galaxy will have in their possession some item that many people across the galaxy want. That's been confirmed by the vague plot synopses that have been released so far. My guess is that that item, or items, have something to do with the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, the Infinity Gauntlet, for those of you who don't know, is Thanos' big, iconic weapon, in the comics at least. When you think Thanos, you think Infinity Gauntlet. And basically, take the Cosmic Cube, multiply by about 10,000, and you have the power of the Infinity Gauntlet. But in order to power the Infinity Gauntlet, you need the Infinity Gems. And so my guess, given that Thanos will have a presence within Guardians of the Galaxy, is that somehow that will be incorporated into it. Whether it's the Infinity Gems that they have, or just one of them, or something to do with it, that's my guess, and I guess that by the end of the movie, Thanos will have maybe gotten one or all of them. Now, we also know from a very, very quick scene in Thor, in which we got to sneak a peek into Odin's vault, that Odin is in possession of the Infinity Gauntlet himself, the glove that Thanos puts on, sticks the Infinity Gems in, and uses to, well, do some bad things. And so, my next guess is that in a potential Thor 3, which would take place within Phase 3, somehow by the end of that, Thanos maybe gets his hands on the Infinity Gauntlet itself, making room for the Avengers 3, Thanos in full possession of the weapon and all of its components. Guardians of the Galaxy has happened, maybe 2 movies have happened at that point. The Avengers have had 2 movies. Let's take the Avengers, let's take the Guardians of the Galaxy, let's put them together, let's have them fight Thanos. That is my guess for this character. A slow burn for 3 phases of movies in which we kind of see him doing some tasks in the background that will all culminate in a 3rd Avengers movie in which we get the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy together fighting Thanos. This seems like a good idea to me for a number of reasons. One, because it really gives Thanos the opportunity to show how big and iconic and awesome and powerful of a villain he is by giving him all this build-up and then unleashing him in this manner. And it also gives Marvel a chance to create a huge, big event in a way that we haven't seen since the Avengers were first brought together. Because, you know, the question that Marvel's always posed with is how do we outdo ourselves at this point? Nothing can top seeing these heroes together for the first time. We don't have the rights to all these other characters that owned by Sony and Fox, so we can't bring them in and have a huge movie with everybody. So what can we do? One of the things they can do is create this whole seemingly separate franchise in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then bring them into the mix. And then by having both the Guardians and the Avengers all together fighting this one gigantic villain, it's just going to be beyond anything that we've seen in the MCU so far in terms of scale and just sheer epicness. So that's what I think. I think Avengers 3, take the Guardians, take the Avengers, put them against Thanos. We'll have to get cracking on some subtitles for that movie. Avengers, the rise of the age of Dark Thanos falls and rises. Or I could be totally wrong, and the Avengers 3 will just have the Avengers against Stiltman or something, I don't know. But now the question is, what do you guys think Thanos' role in the MCU is going to be ultimately? Do you agree with me? Do you have your own ideas as to how he is going to infiltrate these next few movies and then eventually show up and do some damage to the Avengers? You gotta let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, you might as well click all the little links I'm going to put in the description box because it's just the right thing to do. You can follow me on Twitter, yay. You can like the Marvel Cinematic Universe page on Facebook, double yay. And you can follow the MCU on Twitter as well, all the yays. So please, please do that. And if you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends, do all the good things, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Goodbye, guys.